Hailing frequencies open, and welcome to Star Trek Discoverage, the live podcast that boldly goes into excruciating detail about this week's episode of Star Trek Discovery. I'm your host, Aaron Coker, aka Caliban, and happy St. Patrick's Day. I hope you enjoy your traditional meal of kelp buds, plankton loaf, and sea berries. Joining me on the show, as usual, is my co-host. She's also the co-host of the Generations Geek podcast, a more or less family-friendly celebration of geekdom. It's Ella Pearson. Ella, welcome back to Discoverage.
Thank you.
It's great to be back with you here on this, the final night of Discovery Season 4. The finale has aired, and we're going to talk all about it. But first, we're going to bring in our other guest, returning to the show tonight, my co-host on the Just Enough Trope podcast. She's also the host of the Sailor Noob podcast, and she's a frequent contributor to Enterprising Individuals and a guest here on Discoverage. It's Mika Hana. Mika, welcome back to Discoverage.
Hello, thank you for having me.
It's great to have you back. And where are you? What's behind you? What is this? Explain yourself.
I believe this is Whispers of the Heart from Ghibli.
Oh, okay.
You see my cat statue back here that comes to life later. So,
yes. Okay. All right.
Yes.
I have a lot of questions, but they're not Star Trek related. So I guess we're gonna move on. You're the co-host of the Just Enough Trope podcast, where you talk about all the news that's fit to cast in the world of nerdy entertainment. What's been going on recently? What's worth talking about in the world of the nerd?
Yeah, well, I don't know how nerdy it is exactly, but we have been talking about Oscar films.
That's nerdy.
And can be.
Sure.
Can be. Specific kind of nerd.
Movie
maybe.
nerds, yeah.
Movie nerds, yeah.
Yeah.
And last week we talked about Drive My Car, which is a Japanese film that is up for Best Picture and Best International Picture as well, or foreign film. I'm not sure what the category is. I'm doing real great here. But it's not an easy film to describe, I would feel like.
That sounds great.
But it's about love and grief and how we deal with grief or how we don't deal with grief and how that comes out in other ways, and how sometimes art can help us with that, and then the end happens and you're like, what?
Oh, okay. Well, it sounds like Hollywood loves movies about movies, and they love movies about the process of making art, movies about storytelling. So, another movie that did very well from that sphere was Parasite a couple years ago. And if you had asked me to describe Parasite, it's about like a family, but it's also about like another family. And then also at the end, there's cowboys and Indians or something like that, and something terrible happens. So maybe it's got a shot at being best picture this year.
I think it definitely has, at the very least, a shot of being the best foreign film. And I think it deserves to be on the list for best picture. Yeah. And I don't know, I actually really enjoyed it, and I think it's worth seeing. It's one that I think you continue thinking about after you watch it. So I like movies like that.
Even if you're thinking, what the hell happened at the end?
Yeah. And I guess I would say, don't look to the internet to try to help you out on this, because man, they're really grasping.
Oh, okay. All right.
I won't go into detail, but it's just like, no.
I got to go right to YouTube and ending explained, Drive My Car.
Right, exactly.
Right, yeah. I love videos like that, and how film criticism has, in this day and age, has just become, let me explain everything that happened to you, because that's how it works.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. So it turns out the sled was Rosebud. That was what Rosebud was the entire time. All right, that's the end of Citizen Kane. Be sure to like and subscribe. Thanks, guys. Yeah, no,
we did it.
I know how to do this. Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight, and I'm excited to talk about this last episode of the fourth season of Discovery. First, let's talk about news in the world of Trek, and there's been some huge news, I guess, depending on how you look at it, in the world of Trek. It was announced that actor Paul Wesley, no relation, will appear as James T. Kirk in the second season of Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Did you hear about this? You hear about this?
Yes.
What are your thoughts?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm not sure how
we got
I feel
one. I don't
either,
know.
honestly.
We got one. I don't know how I feel. Okay.
Opinion still forming.
A few more details. A few more details about this momentous decision. I'm not familiar with Paul Wesley specifically, but he has appeared in a lot of shows and films. He's been on the Vampire Diaries. I think is probably where most people would know him from. And some other projects. And he's going to be in the second season. Now, I don't know if this is exactly how it happened, but they announced this like a day or two ago. But a day or two before that, there had been posts on social media, like on TikTok and whatnot, of one of the characters from Strange New Worlds. I think the person playing Lon Noonien Singh meeting with a guy, a blonde-haired guy in a yellow shirt. And people were like, oh, is this Kirk? And so I don't know if that forced their hand as far as the announcement went. Obviously, with Discovery going off, I think it's perfect timing because you want to give some more grist to the mill for people. But yeah, it's the news is out now. They've released official art. And we see a picture of Kirk sitting what looks like in a captain's chair with what looks like captain's rank insignia. So speculation runs wild. Will the second season be a time jump ahead for Strange New Worlds? Will we see Captain Kirk take the chair of the Enterprise? I don't know. Ladies, your thoughts?
Well, I think that's why I'm not sure how I feel about it, because it's like, if we're seeing Kirk, does that mean that he's the captain of the Enterprise? Because with Peace and Love, I wasn't excited about Strange New Worlds for the prospect of like remaking TOS, right? I was like, this is going to be sick to see Pike and Spock. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see his portrayal for sure. But I don't know what, we'll see what direction the show's heading in. I'm not sure.
Mika, what do you think? Good portent, bad portent?
I'm not sure. Like, also, like, does that just automatically mean that, like, is Pike still going to be on the show? Like,
I don't know. In the canon of Star Trek, Kirk says that in the menagerie that he only met Pike once when Pike was still ambulatory. I think it was when he was made fleet captain. So they don't, as far as I know, unless they've had a long, fruitful email correspondence, they aren't really like buds and don't know each other. So I don't know.
They FaceTime every day.
Yeah, so, right. Maybe that's what it is.
On their lunch breaks.
So I don't know if they'll depict that meeting, or if this is some kind of flashback or side flash. Yeah, we don't know. I mean,
flash forward.
It could be a flash forward.
Flash future.
They've already got, they've got like half the cast of TOS on the show already. So just go out, get me a high schooler to play Chekhov, and we're all set. Yeah, I don't know. I think that we all knew that this was a possibility, the first time that we heard that updated version of the theme play and saw the Enterprise appear at the end of Discovery Season 1. So, I don't know. I mean, I can't fault them. Like, I like a lot of the things that they've done so far. And obviously, I don't feel like they are doing this to run roughshod over what we think of, when we think of a TOS. But... It's funny that I kind of think maybe that they didn't want this to come out because with Strange New Worlds coming up, you'd want to get some episodes in the boot, if that's an expression. And
it is now.
Yeah, you get them in the boot and you're gonna take them somewhere. But to the Pine Barrens, and have the positive buzz and then let it go and not have it sort of overwhelm what people think about the first season. But I don't know. We're making a lot of hay out of nothing. It's just a guy. Something I thought was funny was the fact that they're talking about how it's like, oh, this is the third actor to play Captain Kirk. And it's like, third? Are you sure? What about Janice Lester? What about the actress who plays Janice Lester, who is Captain Kirk? I am Captain Kirk in Turnabout Intruder. So,
oh, right.
Yeah. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Vibe check 1 to 10 on Kirk appearing Season 2 Strange New Worlds.
5.
5 from Ella?
Yeah, I think it's...
Does 5 average? Or is this like A through F scale?
5. I think 5 is
question.
average. I think a C would be average. Okay. The middle is average, yeah.
Okay, 5.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to say 6. I'm going to play by Price is Right rules and go one more.
Okay. I guess by those rules, then I have to go 7, and I take the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
So
fair.
So yeah, we'll see what happens.
I did see a picture of him on like TikTok, and I was like, and the person, I don't know if it was even like a Trekkie that posted it, the one that I saw, and it was just like, oh, like photo from the Strange New World set or whatever, and I was like, that's weird because that guy looks like Kirk.
Oh yeah, right.
And then 2 days later, lo and behold.
I love the fact that it wasn't even a Trek fan that was posting it. You know, they're just like, look at this guy doing a floss dance. It's Captain
it was
Kirk.
Somebody like, hey, a set, right?
Yeah, right.
Like,
yeah.
That,
You never know where the scoops are going to come from. That's how Hollywood works. Well, I've got a scoop for the both of you, and it's not exactly a good scoop. It was, of course, announced recently that the fourth Star Trek film, fourth Kelvin film, would be going forward in production, surprising a lot of the stars who were involved or would ostensibly be involved in the production. And one of them might not be able to. Recently at South by Southwest, Carl Urban was promoting The Boys, of course, the upcoming season of The Boys.
No.
And he was on a panel with some of the other Star Trek stars like Chris Pine, and they were being asked about the film. And he said that he, like Chris Pine had said and Zoe Saldana had said, that he was excited to get a chance to work on it again. But he said that he's very busy working on The Boys and he might not be available. He said specifically, I'm shooting The Boys through the... No, I won't do that voice, but he said... I'm shooting The Boys through the end of the year, so literally I don't know. I would love to work with those guys again. They're so much fun. The best hang, we'll see. So, not sure if he'll be
the end of the year. I bet they're not going to start shooting before the end of the year, or if they do, just leave his scenes until the end.
That's true.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
I would be so sad if Carl Urban was.
Possibly a reduced presence for him. Yeah.
If I'm being honest, it's a little bit of a hard decision between Carl Urban in the fourth Kelvin movie and Carl Urban in The Boys.
Okay.
Like, which one would I read? Like, it's a little, that's a little tough.
You know,
if you're gonna miss one, you know, I don't know.
If they've already done their Star Trek 2, kind of, right? And then they did Star Trek 3 Beyond, which is like, we're getting old. So maybe like their 4 will be like their motion picture, and then Billy Butcher can come in with his beard, and it'll be like McCoy showing up on the Enterprise in Star Trek the Motion Picture, you know, with his like deep V and his medallion, and he's like, what the hell? Why am I back here? So we can play it that way. There's precedent.
I really can't have the Billy Butcher energy coming into the Kelvinverse.
Yeah,
He's
right.
there for fun and good times, right?
Shake things up a little bit.
I can't have him in there.
Yeah, so
or maybe, okay, I'll consider it.
Yeah, right, obviously. So hopefully they get that worked out, and hope to see Carl Urban in the upcoming film. Well, we've just seen the 13th episode of the 4th season of Star Trek Discovery. The finale, it's an episode called Coming Home, and we're here to talk all about it. But first, as always, a warning. We are setting a course for the spoiler zone listeners, so be warned, we're glad you decided to join us. But spoilers are incoming. The official synopsis for Coming Home is, as the DMA approaches Earth and Navarre with evacuations underway, Burnham and the team aboard the USS Discovery must find a way to communicate and connect with a species far different from their own before time runs out. The episode was written by Michelle Paradise, who's, of course, the showrunner or co-showrunner for the series, and directed by series veteran Olatunde Osunsanmi. No star dates given for this episode, but we're all just caught up in the action here. I should mention there's a very special guest star tonight on the program, former Georgia state representative and voting rights activist, and 2002 Georgia gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams appears on the episode as the president of United Earth tonight, which was a bit of a surprise. And I don't do the thing. I usually watch it during the day. I watched it earlier today, and I don't stay up all night, the night before to watch it. And so I had been staying off of social media, and I saw people talking about that cameo, but I was thankful to people that they didn't drop any specifics. But before we continue, what did you guys think about the cameo of Stacey Abrams?
I don't know her. I
okay,
don't want
Mariah
to put
Carey.
myself on. I don't want to put myself on blast, but I when the doors opened, I was like, "Is this a big deal?" And then I was like, "A lady." Like, I really did not. I'm Stacey Abrams. I'm sorry.
It's not you. It's her. Yeah.
like it took me a second. I was like, wait, that's what's her name? Georgia, politician. And
You, Georgia.
I'm bad with names. That's what's happening to me right
Yeah.
now. So, but an interesting choice. I know she's a Trekkie and she's a Trek fan.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think like how cool for, to have that opportunity. And obviously I think she's somebody who has at least worked towards preventing making sure voters have their rights and stuff like that, even though things didn't necessarily always go the way they wanted them to go, and she's known for being a hard worker and so I think, the messaging was there that they, like we've got a lot of work ahead of us and, look who we have here. And she's, going to bring us hope and stuff like that. But, and I don't want to I'm not sure, if I want my, real world politicians on Trek.
Yeah.
So
you didn't like when Abraham Lincoln was on the Savage Curtain? Or when LBJ was on Wolf in the Fold? We all remember that part. Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice, which is like, this says nothing about how I really feel about it. I just thought it was like, I don't know. It's like anything else, like when you have, what was it, like the current King Hussein's kid was on there, or like Tom Morello. It's fun and all, I guess. If they're trying to send a message, I suppose it's like a generally positive message, and a message that I guess would, cleave to Star Trek's values. But like, I didn't even think until you just said right now about like, we've got work to do and we've got to build it and start up or whatever, and drawing a parallel to like, what we're going through right now, especially with what we're going to talk about at 9:00, Star Trek Picard. Like, who is Gavin Newsom going to be on Star Trek Picard? You know what I mean? Like, it's, I don't know. I thought it was like a fun thing, especially like you said, Mika, just her being a figure and being a fan. I thought that was cool. But as far as what they were trying to accomplish with it, I don't know if I really understood what it was for.
Right. And I also kind of wonder, like, it's cool, but like, do we want to have that at the very end of our season finale?
Like it's all been building up to this.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing again. I'm not no shade, but like, I don't know. I don't feel like they've been talking about the president of. They've been talking about her, the president of Earth, a little bit, but not like so much.
Earth.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Not like
she should come in and like, yeah. She, as soon as the thing comes up, she pulls a phaser out of her cloak and vaporizes the president. She's like, she was a changeling the entire time, but I've saved everybody now. Yeah. Like, having that president character be, well, you know what? We're already talking about the episode, aren't we? And about the entire season. So let's just dive right in and get into it. What did you guys think about the finale, this episode? And then after we talk about that for a bit, we can talk about what you thought about the fourth season in general. And Ella, what did you think about Coming Home?
I really liked it. I thought it was very good. I have some things to say that I think will come up later, and they're gonna maybe sound like complaints, but it's just like a good old fashioned like razz. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, I have some thoughts, and they're
Sure.
my thoughts. But they're not. I'm not going to diss the episode. I think the episode was fantastic. I like gorgeous.
Mm-hmm. Mika?
I also just
sorry.
like not knowing. I just want to add, just like not knowing who Stacey Abrams was. Like, when she came off the thing, and I was like, "Is this a cameo?" And then to me, my monologue was like, "Oh, it's not a cameo." And then I was like, kind of sick though, because we got we got these 3 Black women that are in charge right now.
Yeah.
Go off.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Mika.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna say I guess we're not going like the biggest takeaways, just like our overall Um, I was happy with how it ended.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know, there was a lot going on and a lot to track. But there were so many balls up in the air this season, and I think I was very happy that Book didn't die.
Yeah.
I'm not entirely sure how I feel about whatever happened with the 10C. Just like, oh, we thought that was important. We didn't know what it was. Here you go. But
When they returned Book to everybody,
yeah,
they're like, yeah, we don't understand individualism, but we have a sense of drama, and now is the time to return this character to you.
That's the most important thing.
You're right, yeah. Their
Drama
drama levels
is
are off the scale.
universal,
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Drama's universal.
the 10C are like, we got this. We got this.
We can communicate. Our Rosetta Stone is tvtropes.org. We'll just check them. They understand. We can communicate with them. Yeah, yeah.
That's my Rosetta Stone.
It's like you can get what you want and not be very happy. And that's kind of how I feel. Like, I feel like they executed everything that they intended to and set up. But I felt like just kind of disappointed by a lot of the potential. And not just because nobody that we predicted would turn evil turned evil. Nobody that we predicted would die died, really. We don't even know if Tarka's dead. Like, I'm assuming they want that to be ambiguous. But I felt like...
Can I
Yeah.
interrupt you for just 1 second to say that when I thought that Book was dead, I was like...
Oh, I never believed it for a second. I never believed it for a second.
I believed it, and I was sadder than I thought I'd be. It's so funny that you say that, because I was like, I'm finally right about something.
I'm so sorry.
That Book was going to die.
I wish he was dead. I want that for you badly. But he can't die, because nothing like that happens on this series, at least not at this point. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is ever sacrificed. There's never anything really at stake. They just completely waltz their way through, this amazing first contact, which I think could have been like the entire thing. And they never actually stopped Tarka, but it doesn't matter. And like I said before, I think that they want to, I understand that they're keeping that ambiguous because they want to bring him back. And I think that's fair, but we're not going to circle back to him, right? Like, give us something like final as far as that goes. And it's not like I like that Book is alive, and I like that he is, he's going to repay, his debt to society. He's going to correct his mistakes. I think that all that's great. But when it boils right down to it, you've just basically got like a character in Tarka who wants to get back to this place that he loves, and he'll do anything to get there. And that could have been that's like one episode, or like maybe a movie. It's Generations. That's Star Trek Generations, right? I think we've talked about this previously on the show. This is just what Malcolm McDowell wanted in the first TNG movie. And so everything else that they did to sort of populate out the rest of the season just kept creating these things that just were closed before they were ever explored. I don't know. I don't think we need to have a thing where we're chasing Ndoye around the gas giant and trying to bring her to justice. But before the credits even roll, she's like, I did it. It was me. I did it. And they're like, oh, okay, well, go to your room and you'll just come back later, I guess. And then later on, you'll have a chance to sacrifice yourself, but we'll just grab you with the transporter and that's fine. And so I feel like the stakes are always never that serious on Discovery, but they just felt really not very deep, like at the end of this fourth season.
Yeah, and then the thing with the general too that is I understand that Book has a laundry list of things that he has done.
He was jaywalking. He's they're gonna get him for everything. Throw the book at him.
Right, and she had
throw the book.
Right. Yeah. Right. Good one. But she betrayed their trust, and I mean, as an official too, Book is look, I'm not Federation. I'm not government this.
Yeah. Do their laws apply to him? I don't even know.
Apparently they do.
Yeah.
But she goes on this mission to which the plan, I was not aware of this when she went out there. The plan was to just fly the shuttle.
Just crash into them? I guess, yeah.
That was grab her before it hits or something.
Right.
I don't know.
Put it on autopilot. It's the future.
Yeah, like
they're too.
Right.
But like then she's
have
not
a
punished.
dot fly it.
So,
yeah. Just shoot them.
Yeah,
like if you just want to destroy them, just shoot them with a phaser. I guess the weapons were offline or something, but
yeah.
Like, how come no one went to Federation jail, which I'm assuming is a very cushy Scandinavian like jail, but like. Well, I want to see, and I don't want to say slightly, given that we're American, we live in America, but like I want to see some jail time. I want to see some repercussions.
I think Book is doing like community service, like he's doing like a restorative justice thing. Well, that's what he was going.
That's what's implied,
okay.
But it's like
they said he's going
to keep the cat.
They said he's going. Yeah, right. Yeah, Grudge is doing hard time. Grudge is too pretty. She'll never survive inside. But they're sending him I thought it was interesting. They're sending him to like Europa Station, and then later on, a little thing for Picard later. But when they go to 2024, we see a billboard about a Europa mission. So I don't know if that's just a coincidence, but little food for thought for the future. But I did. Don't look too close. I liked his arc of the entire season of eventually, and we've talked. We predicted this is going to happen, but it just makes sense. Like he has this loss. He learns. He sees somebody else being worse than he is with a loss, and then realizing, no, we gotta, just let him go. And his speech at the end was great, but like if you look closely at it, it doesn't. The data doesn't match the curve, of him following this arc. I didn't think, and I can't believe it took till like this last episode for Tarka to suggest to him, you want your family, you want Quajan? There's a million Quajans out there. I was getting like a Rick and Morty kind of feel to it. Tarka is Rick. That's what I'm saying. He's Rick Sanchez.
He kind of is.
Where it sort of cheapens the idea, but he's saying like, look, you want like your family back. You want a family. You can have one. And they waited for like the last half an hour of the season to that could have been a whole thing in the middle of the season where Book is thinking, maybe there is like another family out there. Maybe I could have something like that. But by this point, he can't entertain that because we've got to just wrap it up. So, yeah, I don't know if it's the split in the middle of the season, but I felt that the pacing, I like where everybody ended up, but getting there was just very uneven, I thought.
Here's the thing about Book, right? It's like, last week I was like, he's going to have a redemption arc and then die. And then this episode, I was like, that was really sad. I'm feeling a lot sadder than I thought I would now that he's dead.
Yeah.
But he didn't really redeem himself, right? It was like Michael convinced him in the first place to like put a pause on it. He wasn't even like, okay, I'll stop. He was like, okay, let's discuss finally. And Michael had to they had to really like push him.
Yeah.
And then, friggin' got Tignataro in the brig, okay? And he's not really doing a lot. He's like, yeah, we're here. I guess I'll be nice. Like, here's some candy. Like,
yeah, right. Yeah.
And so, I don't know. And then this next bit that I'm going to say, I feel like I'm like beating a dead horse is what I've been saying all season. But like, what gives him the authority to be speaking during the first contact mission?
Yeah, and he basically said, I mean, obviously, like the 10C, the 10C can't keep doing what they're doing, but there isn't any. That was all just so wrapped up so fast, like this first contact, and he's just basically like, "You got to stop what you're doing." They're like, "Okay, we'll just do it over here." No, you have to stop. Like, we're not offering anything, we're not doing anything. Like, you just have to stop. And I'm not saying that they should, get to tear up our galaxy, but there just wasn't. After all this time spent talking about how we're gonna do the lights and the smells and everything, and we're gonna try to connect with these people, they're just like, I'm sorry. I was throwing my dog's crap in my neighbor's yard. I didn't realize anybody lived there. Like, they're just cool with like shutting it all down.
And I thought, I was like waiting for the like cut to Saru, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't send that bit. I'm not." Like I was waiting for.
He was like he had
what?
100 smells per minute. He was like typing up really fast on that little thing.
He was going. He'd be such a good receptionist.
Yeah.
But like I literally was waiting for like, and more realistically, like the cut to Michael giving Saru the nod, right? Like, go ahead and run that through Zora. How is Zora there? We don't know. I was waiting for her to be slapped into a cube or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe deep down, I'm like, just like jealous. Maybe I have like a subconscious crush on Michael. I'm just like jealous of Book. I have bad feelings towards him, but
Okay.
I'm like, go back to the beyond. Like, do something so that we forgive you. Like, you're essentially kind of a terrorist.
Did it? Well, there you go. Did anybody want to see? Again, they're just making. This is a long episode. This is an hour episode.
Poor guy. I really like the character. I love the actor. We could come on here and I'm like, Book sucks.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Book doesn't suck. No, he doesn't.
Book
suck,
doesn't suck. I don't think that you meant that.
No,
but I think maybe we'll put the book down for a while.
This is the part where I was like, it's not just the episode. I just need to razz something.
Yeah, was anybody getting any vibes off of Salt and Pepper and Tilly in their scenes?
Yes. I was
when they're
like,
just
please
like,
God.
If I'm going out happy. Like a.
Oh my.
And then everything's fixed. We beam them in, and they're like, oh no,
that's
nothing.
awkward.
I didn't have the thought. I had the fear. I had the fear. It was a fear. I was like, let's keep that 3 feet between you with the whiskey flasks, okay? Also, thank God there was 2 flasks. A gentleman, right? He's like, oh, I have a second flask here.
I brought one for you.
We need to talk. We have to not wrap this up yet. We have to move to the end because we've got another show coming up in a little bit. But I wanted to ask real fast, what if there was no Tarka? What if this was just Book? What if Book was the antagonist for the entire season? And here's why I say that, and I will give it to you after this. Because as we were going through the end and they were doing all the things, there was a replication of a lot of these beats that I felt would be eliminated if there was no 2 people. So at the end, they returned Book to them. I think Mika made this point before we went on the air. How did they know that they wanted Book back? Like, why didn't they have both Book and Tarka? Do you know what I mean? Like, if they have all this power... they just return the one. And then later on when they're saying, when he's talking to them and they're like, well, why do you feel this way? And he says like, well, you guys, we're one and we have a person that we love and we lose. Like, why didn't he just talk about the fact that like, you blew up my planet. Like you killed my people. I had this other friend and he's had the same problem. And so, what if it was just like one person? And so all of the Book maybe got a little worse, as far as being a quote unquote bad guy goes, but like, what if there was no Tarka?
If
that made any sense.
No, yeah, it did. That's a really interesting question. I think. I guess I'll answer twofold. One, I did not really care for Tarka that much at all. It's cool that he had somebody he really cared about and that he was in love with and he was really trying to get home, but his methods and everything, and like was not really invested in the character. So I know it was like very ambiguous how he die, didn't he? But I felt nothing. I think they felt like they had to have a Tarka because they didn't want to assassinate Book's character. That's maybe not as interesting of a choice as possibly having Book get so angry and fed up, and just taking things into his own hands. And he does kind of feel like for a lot of it that like he's just kind of following Tarka's lead. And so it feels like he's somewhat more removed. So, we can forgive him. And then also he's feeling all, anger, and his entire planet blew up. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah, it's a weaker choice. I mean, I think for sure.
Yeah. I think they could have maybe done things to make it more interesting. Tarka also had this. Was it? He said, I think it was like when he threw a book into the brig, like, I don't want to do this.
Well, he
I've
said
only
that like
had
400 times, but yeah.
yeah. But he was like, I've only had two real friends in my life, and you're one of them. I was like, really?
Right. Let me know if you need the toilet, friend.
I haven't seen that.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
I don't know.
Well, yeah, I feel similarly. Let's maybe we should try to wrap it up a little bit here. I guess.
I have a couple of things.
Okay.
I suppose. I feel like Book for me, like looking at Book as a character, I feel like he did need someone to push him over the edge. Like I think Book as a character without Tarka, like planting that seed and like encouraging him and all of this stuff, I don't think that he would have gone like full let's bomb it.
Yeah.
Like I think like you take this character, this, you know, he's like a nice empathic person, whatever, and like you said, his planet blew up. What do you want from him? Now he's like grieving. I think that
if something's going to push you,
that
would be something to push you. Yeah.
Exactly. I think without Tarka's influence, it would have been more of like a, you know, maybe he lashes out just at Michael. You know, maybe there's a dumping. But
get dumped.
Exactly. He's like, I'm taking the cat and I'm leaving.
Yeah, I think it would have been a much stronger choice. I think I don't know if it's a problem. It's probably a feature and not a bug, but there is no status quo on Discovery and on these streaming shows in the way that there is, you know, former Star Trek shows. You know, the reset. You know, we expect that. Sure, a character like Tasha Yar is going to die, or Picard is going to get a jacket or something like that. But mostly it's going to be the crew that we know from week to week. And with these shorter seasons and the more serial storytelling, there never is like a reset. Not that there should be, but it's hard. You have to track more closely how everybody is developing, and you have to leave them somewhere, I think, when you're done. And so that's why I think for a character like Book, who I like the character and I really enjoy the actor's performance, but he's not part of the crew. Like if a guy is going to go crazy or go bad, like that's our guy that could go bad.
I've been saying.
He doesn't have a contract. He's not Michael Burnham. He's not the featured player. And so the fact that they
court-martialed.
Well, right. Yeah.
What are they gonna? Why is he on the ship? Anyway.
Right.
Sorry, continue.
But anyway, hopefully, we'll see him again, and he'll get to develop some more. Let's talk about where we think we're going in the future. I don't think that anything. What's that?
There's one thing I think that we have to address before we go to where we think we're going. Yeah. Which is that this whole time we've been like, "Where's Tilly?"
Oh yeah, Tilly.
And now
returns.
we finally get Tilly.
Yeah.
Right.
And like she's just there. Like I wanted her to come out like Captain Kirk at the beginning of Star Trek II, and that this, you know, it's like the power of math is returned, and it's like, oh, it's Tilly, but instead she's just, you know, oh, Tilly's there, so I'm glad she's back.
Well,
but
she had
why did she leave in the first place? Yeah,
to find her passion.
She got her hair did too. She looked really great.
Right. I was gonna say a new curl routine for Tilly. Yeah. Clearly, she's plopping her hair. But Tilly, I will say for me, I was like, it took me a hot second to be like, that sounds like Tilly. Like it took me until almost the last second to be like, hang on, they snuck her back in. Because it was just out of my, and then I was like, huh?
Yeah. So what do we think? I mean, like no Calypso, you know, that's my big prediction. No Zora, really, no development, no Cronenberg, no resolution with Tarka. Yeah. Tilly's back. What do you guys think we're going to see in season 5?
Yeah, good question. I was kind of surprised. Like, I thought since Cronenberg was the one who kind of encouraged Tilly to you know, teach at the academy, that we would see him again. So I was kind of surprised we didn't see him again.
He probably fell and like cracked one of his
glasses. Oh, he's like, oh no.
He's like, oh,
I can't be cool without these. Yeah.
My whole look is ruined.
Oh.
That or he got he was I don't know. I'm trying to think of one of his movies. There's nothing you can pull from one of his movies. I don't know. He found a gun that shot teeth or something like that. I don't know. It's from Existence. Mika, what's coming up in season 5?
These movies are so weird.
Yeah.
It's so hard to guess because I feel like...
Well, what? Okay, think about it this way, because I know you can do this. Bingo card. What's left on the bingo card to cover?
What's left on the bingo card?
2 minutes. Go.
Oh God, no. Somebody from Michael's past who she thought she'd left behind shows up.
Yes.
Okay, Ella's in for
and
that.
starts making trouble.
Yeah, all in.
Okay.
I love anything that sounds like somebody would write in a fan fiction.
Yes.
That's what I want.
They keep
Anything that I'm going to read over the summer, that's what we need in season 5.
That sounds
Start
good.
going on AO3 and hiring some nerds.
Or the production will be. Yeah, they keep talking about like her courier days, and it's like I want to see that. You know, they always like whenever they need a little. Remember the time that we were on Glur Block 2, and you said to me, "I don't know about that," and I was like, "Yeah, like that might be a way to bring Book back as well in flashbacks." Ella, what do you think? Where do you think they're heading in season 5?
I think, honestly, taking Michael's like last couple of lines with the president, I'm like, I wonder if we're gonna have kind of a like almost like a calmer season. I feel like every season we've had, there's been something like a huge, unimaginable problem or mystery that needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And so I think, or I'm hoping this next season is more of like we're building the Federation, not to invoke the name of DS9, but almost more of like some good politics, some fun, silly goofy, a Simple Taylor, I don't know.
Okay.
That would be great.
But yeah, I'm hoping / I think that it will be some more like, maybe we'll get some more like Monster of the Week type episodes. And yeah, I don't know. That's kind of what I want. I want something a little bit more like, I want to see them building the Federation. There can still be like a big, goal.
Yeah.
The goal is like, we need to get these planets. They said the quota is 5 planets per year. So we have to get 5 more planets to join the, I want to see just like something that's a little bit less like, no, creepy lights in the sky.
Right.
I want, some good politics, some good stuff.
Okay.
Some Federation content.
Yeah, I think that because the last 2 seasons have had that kind of, they keep talking about. I mean, they're doing it, I guess, episode by episode, but like building the Federation or restoring these bonds. So I think jumping off of both of your suggestions, maybe we'll see the first real snag. Maybe we'll see an internal conflict. We'll see somebody, a member world of the Federation. Be resisting some policy. We'll see some kind of conspiracy. I'd hate to say let's bring back Section 31, but maybe we'll see some kind of espionage or what am I trying to say? Deep state kind of thing.
Sure.
That challenges the Federation's ideals. Pie in the sky. I'd like to see them explore other galaxies. We've kind of teased that, they left our galaxy with ease. Maybe they find some way to make the spore drive work on an intergalactic scale. And why limit yourself to the Milky Way? We've got 4 quadrants. Let's go somewhere else and see what else is out there and get really weird with it. That's what I think.
We didn't talk about Saru.
Oh, we can do that right now.
Oh yes.
I didn't.
Okay, I don't know if I have a lot to say, but
Yeah,
what
I didn't think there was a lot to say.
Is that as she went for the full hand grab, that's a Vulcan. She went for the full hand hold.
That's true.
Yeah,
right off
that
the
is
bat
true.
immediately.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if Navarre's any different than like the Vulcan we know, but when she did that, I was like,
that's-
whoa!
Yeah, yeah.
I was like, ah!
Yeah. I liked how she was
Like, get a room!
at the beginning. Maybe she's a descendant of Tuvok because they ran into a problem. She's like, I'll mind meld with it. I'll just mind meld with it. It's like, no.
Yeah, I like that.
But yeah, they had a connection at the end. And as long as she's okay with him having a 117-year-old son, I think they're going to be fine. I think they're really going to develop and their relationship will bloom.
I know. I did feel a little bad for Sukal because he was like, Saru was like, when I thought we were gonna die, I was thinking about like all these missed opportunities with you.
Yeah.
I was like, that's really sweet, but
don't you have an adult child back on Kaminar? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
child.
we can deal with that in the next season, hopefully. Any final thoughts?
Anything,
yeah.
I was going to say, if anything, I feel like, I think that we could make a good argument that Tarina is a descendant of Spock because she's just bold.
Yeah.
She's wild.
I like that.
I feel like Spock is kind of crazy as far as Vulcans go. I feel like he's kind of bonkers.
Yeah.
I don't think that Spock would go for the full handhold. I guess we'll see in Strange New Worlds.
I guess we will.
But yeah.
Yeah, I would be good. I would be good with that. It would be. It's we're in a whole new era of Trek, a new century, but you need that Sarek bloodline or that Spock connection. I think.
Get frisky with the handholds. Yeah.
Yeah, be fine with that. Any last thought, Mika, before we get out of here?
I was excited that we did actually get to see the 10C. I will say.
Yeah.
Because I was a little concerned there that we weren't. I mean, there was glowing lights and but I was glad we actually did get to see them. So
yeah, I don't expect that we will, but I'd like to see more of them. I'm sure they'll pop up in a spin-off novel or something, and we can have somebody fill that out a little bit because it's a fascinating idea.
I bet I would put money that it's someone already has typed out 10C. If not, the book is already written. I'm trying to think of who's working on the next Discovery novel. I don't have any insider information.
Yeah.
But knowing those people, the Star Trek authors, I feel like they're already there. They're on it.
Well, let us know when you get the inside info, and we'll.
I will.
Share it.
I'll make sure that my dad breaks his NDAs, and then I'll generationally, I feel like NDAs it
doesn't pass. It doesn't pass to the child.
Like how when you're married, you can't
they can't
testify against each other. It's like that. It's like
Romulans beam into her room and shoot everybody.
The NDA doesn't.
Yeah.
Right. What was that in Arrested Development? Like they can't charge like
husband and wife for the same crime.
They can't charge us for the same crime.
The worst attorneys.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for our show this week. Thanks for joining us, listeners. If you like what you hear, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter at EISTPOD to get updates and to get notified when new episodes of this show, Discoverage, and our main show, Enterprising Individuals, are released. You can tweet to us on the show by using the hashtag Discoverage. You can email us at EISTPOD@gmail.com. And while you're on the internet, head to your listening platform of choice and subscribe to the show. Give us a rating and a review, and if you like the show, tell a friend. Discoverage will return on March 24th at 8 p.m. for the 4th episode of Star Trek Picard's 2nd season. And we don't know anything about that episode yet, but we'll be here next Thursday to cover it. As we said before, we don't know anything about the 5th season of Discovery, but we'll be here to cover that as well. And we'll be going live once again at 8 p.m. Central next Thursday, so join us then for the next episode of Picard. You can follow us on Facebook or Twitter in the meantime to get notified when we're live and broadcasting. In the meantime, check out our main show, Enterprising Individuals, at enterprisingindividuals.com or on Twitter at EISTPOD. Each week, I and a special guest discuss in excruciating detail this year a selected movie from the Star Trek franchise. You can find that show in our show feed or wherever you get your podcasts. Ella, thanks as always for joining me to talk about tonight's episode of Discovery and remind people where they can find you online.
My home podcast is called Generations Geek. I do it with my dad, and I'll break this NDA, which is on the phone with me last night. He said we should do a Dune episode because I just finished the book and watched the new movie.
Nice.
And he just watched the new movie. And what I will say to the people is that tweet at the Generations Geek Twitter and tell him to watch Twilight, which may sound shallow because Dune is a masterpiece and I loved it and I had a lot of feelings even though I knew it was going to happen because I read the book. But I'm going to stay on I have this Twilight campaign and that's where I'm camped.
All right, all Sardaukar, you have your orders.
This is the right audience for that, right?
Yes,
I think so.
At Generations Geek for Twilight. And
have you gone with the idea that they're fun to make fun of? Like you can make fun of the Twilight films as you watch them?
I've tried.
There's an idea.
I think that my father, he's a movie buff. I think it would hurt him a little. I think it might take a year off of his life to experience the Twilight movies, but it would add 5 years to mine. So I say to you, Scott, what was the point of having a daughter
now it
if
comes
not
out.
to give her this?
Now we know what it's all for. Mika, it's great to have you as always. Thanks for being with us, and tell people where they can find Just Enough Trope online.
Yeah, you can find us on justenoughtrope.com and on social media. We're on Facebook and Twitter, you name it.
Awesome. And are you sticking around with us to talk about Picard?
I am.
Okay, so if you're a Picard fan, you stick around too. We're talking about the latest episode of Picard in just a few minutes, right after this. That's coming up at 9 p.m. So that's it for us. Thanks for listening, everybody. And I want to say thank you to Ella and Mika, and we're signing off. Live long and prosper.